Hello guys, welcome back to TGT. We will be diving you today to the best PS4 games that's still worth playing today in 2020. Among of the countless games for PS4, we've drained out top 10 best for you, starting with Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls, the series that spawned 100 imitators thanks to its emphasis on difficult but fair gameplay, came to a close with Dark Souls 3, but what a way to go out. Featuring a variety of awe-inspiring locales, the same finely tuned combat fans had come to expect, Dark Souls 3 is a wonderful encapsulation of the series as a whole, not as scattered as Dark Souls 2, neither it looks as rough around the edges as the original. If you've been curious about the Souls games, this is where you should start. Final Fantasy 15. Four adrenaline-driven teens embark on the journey of a lifetime, but this ain't no road trip. The RPG tale of Prince Noctis and his merry band straddles fantasy and reality with almost balletic grace, throwing in titanic monsters and classic missions alongside conversations about the weather and visuals that just sing America. Final Fantasy 15's story is bonkers and its final destination a genuine surprise, but it's still a winding, delight-strewn road that Square converts are duty-bound to travel with sufficient appeal in its blockbuster, battles and eclectic quest mix to suck in fantasy. Fallout 4. Hitting PS4 with the atomic force of a fat boy, Fallout 4's excellent gunplay and crafting systems can trigger a nasty case of RPG. Don't worry though, there's a stimpack for that. There's so much to do in this post-apocalypse, it's almost terrifying, and quite often you'll set off to complete a mission and get completely sidetracked when you find something wonderful or horrific along the way. It's not without a faults, but the scale of Bethesda's wasteland will keep you bunkered down for weeks.
Let's go, boy.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Crudely, Senua's Sacrifice of Hellblade is a hack-and-slash adventure game which follows a young warrior called Senua who travels to Hell to save the soul of her lover. Most of the game sees you solving environmental puzzles, fighting demons, and taking part in boss battles. However, it's the stories you live through and the way the game represents Senua's fragile mental health that makes Hellblade one of PS4's best. You constantly hear multiple voices echoing around in Senua's head, eroding her confidence and making her scared of the next darkness-filled corridor. Senua herself is expertly acted and mo-capped by the team at Ninja Theory, which all adds to the realistic portrayal of a very troubled woman looking for redemption. Persona 5. Admit it, if you're familiar with the Persona series, you probably saw this coming. But anyway, here's a gist if you haven't heard before. You are a high school student who fights monsters, capturing or otherwise convincing them to lend their power to your quest. And what is that quest? To fight against a world run by adults who have let their hearts grow cold, of course. To do this, you enter a realm tied to each major antagonist's twisted psyche, facing down their literal demons. The Division 2. With The Division 2, Ubisoft absolutely nailed how to make a sequel. It took everything that was right with the original game and made it better, but also managed to iron out all the niggles and problems people had to make a game that's full of stuff to do, a lengthy endgame and story missions that are utterly brilliant. And what's more, it's always getting better. There's a whole year's more content still to come. Including new story missions, 8-player raids, more exotics, and a lot more. It's a seriously fantastic looter shooter that's going to keep on giving for years to come. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Uncharted 4's true successes lie in the details. You have the big action set pieces that the series is known for, where everything hero Nathan Drake touches falls apart around him in Michael Bay levels of destruction. And the attention to detail in those moments, how wood splinters into pieces under gunfire, or how Nathan's clothing gets caked in mud during a high-octane car chase, certainly makes it shine as a bit of impressive tech to show off to your friends. But it's how Uncharted nails the small moments that makes it truly great.
For those who prove worthy, paradise awaits. Took a long time for him to get out of this game.
He's meant for this life.
Oh, crap!
Last I checked, we're all a bunch of thieves, digging around where we shouldn't.
Shame we're not on the same side.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Everyone knew that a brand new Rockstar game on PS4 would cause a major earthquake in the gaming scene, and it actually had it. Red Dead Redemption 2 and its glorious open world that's filled with things to do and people to meet, rob, kill, is quite the masterpiece of game making. The world is so realistic you may have to pinch yourself that it's not real as the morning mist rolls in or the sun breaks through the clouds in the afternoon. And the story. Oh boy, the story. Obviously we won't be crowned the sheriff of Spoilertown here, but it's as gloriously epic as you'd expect from a Rockstar. It's a wonderful world to live in for a few weeks, months, because there's so much to see and discover that you're going to be wondering what the heck that thing is on that mountain for a while to come. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The White Wolf himself finally rides onto PS4 in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and brings with him one of the most diverse and challenging RPG worlds ever seen. Mesmerizing to look at and utterly engrossing to play. What really impresses are the genuinely entertaining missions and the eclectic cast of characters that bring the world to life. While combat can be challenging at first, once you get into it, there's enough depth here to keep you interested for the duration. The 2018 God of War. The new God of War is a complete fresh for this action series. While Kratos is still very angry, the game still features moments of horrific violence, and the action continues to be smooth and brutal. The whole structure and pace has been completely revamped. Now you're free to explore the world and unearth all its secrets as you go through, and there are so many layers to this game. Puzzles are incredibly smart, set pieces impress, and Kratos is a much more rounded character, especially when it comes to the interactions with Atreus, his son. It also helps that the game looks staggeringly good. There's no better showcase game for PS4. It's a gorgeous exclusive that reinvents one of the console's longest-serving, most loved characters.
Be ready!
I said that I will be given 10 games, but there is one last game that have been the best games for years, and that is the Batman Arkham Knight from the Batman sequel. The game is presented from a third-person perspective, with a primary focus on Batman's melee combat, stealth abilities, detective skills, and gadgets. The player is able to complete side missions away from the main story to unlock additional content and collectible items. Combat focuses on chaining attacks together against numerous foes while avoiding damage, while stealth allows Batman to conceal himself around an area, using gadgets and the environment to silently eliminate enemies. Arkham Knight introduces the Batmobile as a playable vehicle, which is used for transportation, puzzle solving and combat. Anyway, these are the games being the best on PS4, but we all know there are more yet to come in these holidays. Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima, and more are among of those. Please, if this is your first time on this channel, quickly subscribe and turn on notification to have our contents the very earliest. Bye for now.
No more